There's this weird idea in the UK that if you work hard, keep your head down and do the right thing, you'll eventually get rich. A lot of men still believe that. And to be fair, it does sound half reasonable. But if that was actually true, a lot more men would be wealthy by now. Because there are millions of men just like you and me working hard every single damn day. And they're not getting rich. We're not getting rich. We're just getting by. No one really wants to say this out loud, but the system most people are following, it doesn't lead to wealth. It leads to stability at best. You can earn a decent living, pay your bills, maybe have a nice holiday once or twice a year, but actually building serious money, that's a completely different game. And most people were never taught how to play it. The first problem is simple. Everything costs more, but most people aren't earning that much more. So even if you're doing all right on paper, it doesn't feel like progress. It feels like just bloody maintenance. You're running just to stay in the same place. And over time, that gets frustrating because you're doing what you're supposed to do. And it's not really changing anything. That's where I've felt over the last few years. The second problem is this idea that working harder equals earning more. That might have worked years ago, but now, not really. You can work 50, 60 hours a week and still be stuck in the same financial position because there's a limit to how much your time is worth. And once you hit that limit, that's it. You don't break through by working harder. You just get more tired. And this is where it gets a bit uncomfortable because a lot of men, just like us, were raised with that exact mindset. Just work hard and you'll be fine. No one really explained that working hard and building wealth are not the same thing. They overlap a little bit, but they're not equal. And if you don't realise that early enough, you can spend years and years doing the right things for the wrong outcome. Another issue is that no one agrees on what actually works anymore. You go online and it's just noise. Start a business, invest in property, do a side hustle, learn this skill. Half of it contradicts the other half. And a lot of it is coming from people who make money, teaching you how to make money. So you end up stuck between playing it safe and taking advice you don't fully trust. And most people just stay where they are because at least it's predictable. Then there's risk. Everyone says, take a risk, take risks. It sounds great until you've got bills, responsibilities, maybe a family, and suddenly risk doesn't feel exciting. It feels dangerous. One wrong move can set you back years, so you stay in the safe lane, which is exactly why so many people stay stuck in the middle, not struggling, but not getting ahead either. And then there's something that doesn't really get talked about at all. A lot of men feel like they're supposed to be doing well financially. No one sits you down and says it directly, but it's there. You're supposed to be progressing, building, earning more. So when that's not happening, even if you're working hard, it gets to you. You don't always say it, you just carry it, and that's an extra burden. Here's the uncomfortable truth. For most men in the UK, if you follow the standard path, job, steady income, work hard, you'll probably be fine. But you probably won't get rich. And that's not because you're lazy. It's because that path was never designed for that outcome. It doesn't mean it's impossible. It just means it requires a completely different approach, different thinking, different risks, different moves. And most people never make that shift, not because they can't, but because no one clearly shows them how to. So you end up with a lot of men doing everything that they were told would work and quietly realising it doesn't lead where they thought it would. And that's where the frustration comes from. Not a lack of effort, just a lack of results. Because working hard isn't the problem, but believing that's enough, that might be. For me, I've spent the best part of 25 years working hard and not really finding that pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. Yes, I've got some nice things, but I am nowhere near wealthy. And to take that big leap of faith, to take that big risk, is too big of a risk to take. And then you need all that money to invest in the first place in that risk. So what I've decided to do is take a step back and focus on the next 20 years doing something that I will enjoy. Being rich is great, but it's not everything. All that work, all that worry, all that stress, all that risk, yeah, it suits some people. I'm not bothered about being rich. So don't worry if you're not on the path to riches and wealth. Most of us aren't. Try and build a future in a job that you will enjoy. See you next time, guys.
I was born for it, I was made for it. Working before I was paid for it. Ain't no finish line, I'm trying to race to it. I'ma run this shit after the tape torn. Can't be easing up, I keep the speed. I need that paper busting out the ring. I don't just love it, nigga, I'm a fiend. That's why I'm never running out of steam. And yeah, I'm the